If one or a group of people claim a part of land as a country but most nations deny these claims, then that country isn't officially a country. Many of these claims are made from countries that did exist but were taken away by others, usually in unjust circumstances. In this list we'll be showing you 5 countries that don't officially exist. We would like to give a big shout out to viewer Dawlishnut for suggesting this video. Number 5. Seborga, Italy. There's the Vatican, there's San Marino, but did you know that within the bounds of Italy flourish further states? In the 1960s, Giorgio Carbone, head of a local flower growers cooperative, created the idea that Seborga, just inland from the Mediterranean and close to the French border, should regain its long-forgotten historic independence. The people thought he was onto something, and soon Carbone was Prince Giorgio I, Prince of Seborga. Despite the prince's death in 2009, the state goes on. It's not an official country and Italy see it as part of Italy, meaning law enforcement, public health, telecommunications, school services and all other public services are provided as in the rest of Italy. Number 4. Kristiania, Denmark. Possibly the most famous self-declared independent community in the world, Kristiania is a free town within Copenhagen. Settled in 1971 by a group of hippies and artists who had rejected the state control, it became a private city in itself. Lawless Kristiania is officially recognized by the Danish state, and has ironically become one of the city's major tourist attractions. Number 3. State of Palestine. This one is a touchy subject. Officially, the state of Palestine is only recognized as a country by 68% of the United Nations, meaning it's mostly recognized as a country, but it's still not officially recognized as not every nation in the UN agrees. There is a lot of conflict between Palestine and Israel, and it's completely understandable. I'll start by saying 96% of the world media is owned by Israeli corporations, or at very least have large shareholders who are Israeli or have Jewish ancestry. This is extremely important to point out, as that does mean majority of the media we see is very biased when it comes to the Israel and Palestine conflict. The land which is now Israel has been fought over for centuries, mainly because it's recognized as holy land by all 3 major religions. Jews, Muslims and Christians have been living on that land for hundreds of years. Before Israel became a country, 11% of its population were Jewish and 9.5% were Christian. The rest were Muslims. On May 14, 1948, the British, who essentially controlled the land, declared the land Israel. They basically created a new country from what used to be Palestine. With that, they moved European Jews over to now Israel and handed the country to them on a silver platter. The Palestinians didn't like this very much, as they just lost their country, their homes, belongings and more. While migration to the area did happen in a much smaller scale before, it wasn't until after World War II that the main migration happened. This obviously caused a lot of tension, and since the Palestinians were forced into the tiny area of the West Bank, Gaza Strip, or moved to neighbouring country Jordan. The Jewish people in defence say the land is inherently theirs, due to what their religion states. A good way to think about it is, let's say a very powerful nation declares the United States as a new country, invites all the Syrian refugees to come in, essentially allows them to take the American people's homes, pushes the Americans out to a small part of the country, then when the Americans fight back in anger, get put on the news as the bad ones because the Syrians control the news. Not mentioning the obvious difference in power, Israel has the 11th strongest military in the world, while Palestine has homemade weapons. That is essentially what happened with Palestine, but since this conflict is deeply integrated with a religious conflict, it disguises the actual crimes against humanity that's happened. This also causes a lot of people to have biased opinions, since they may have racist views to certain religions, which fogs the facts. What I'm saying is, take away religion from the conflict and it's very obvious who the victim is. It doesn't matter if Jewish people lived on the land thousands of years ago, since thousands of years ago many countries had different people. For example, America didn't have a single European. What's really important is what's happened in recent times, and in recent times the Palestinian people had their country and homes stolen. Number 2. NSK, Slovenia. Can a state that does not exist and has no boundaries have embassies around the world? Apparently, yes. This is the case of the state of NSK, which stands for New Slovenian Art. Populated by a community of artists and performers from Slovenian capital, its most famous inhabitants are a rock band, Laibach. You qualify for a visa to visit the state by attending a Laibach concert, so there are a few thousand fans among the NSK populace. Sounds to me like a pretty genius way to promote your band. Number 1. Sealand UK. We end the list with a light-hearted one that should make you chuckle. If Sealand was recognised by the United Nations, it would be the smallest country in the world, but it's not. Sealand is basically a rusting platform in the sea 6 miles off Suffolk, but it has an interesting history, starting life as a sea fort strategically positioned to defend Britain from German air raids in World War II and actually manned by British troops. In 1967, former infantry major Roy Bates founded the state, of which he was Prince Roy until his passing in 2012. Sealand issues its own passports, has its own currency, and with its motto, "From the sea comes to freedom," it is assured a warm place in British history forever. Thank you for watching, and if you have a video idea, why not leave a comment below, and if we make it, we'll give you a big shout out. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome daily lists of all things 5. This is All 5, and until next time, feed your mind.